Hello, everyone. It's your boy Pred, and welcome to yet another tier list video. Yay, you guys enjoy this so much. Although it is kind of sad that these are my most viewed videos, whether it's because of a like of tolerance for tier list videos or just the fact that these are more broad in appeal, other than specific playthroughs. I have no earthly clue why, but hey, they get tons of hits, so must be doing something right with them. Anyways, last tier list I did was all based on Bond villains, so I might as well go the other direction and do a tier list based on the Bond theme songs. Yes. I mean, with 25 different films under your belt, you're going to have quite a long list of songs to choose from. And music, being both a massive passion of mine and something that I actually like to talk about and extrapolate just as much as cars, if not more so in some circumstances. I know, what a surprise. And, being a very subjective thing, because that's what I like, you know, figure why not do a song tier ranking list? Now, originally these ones were ranked via the order was screwed up on this, so it went 1 to 5. And I really don't think that makes a whole lot of sense if you're going to do like a 1 to 5 star rating scale. So, hence the reorganization. Um, Ground rules. I've obviously have listened to each and every one of these songs, or have attempted to listen to each and every one of these songs. But yeah, other than that, there are really no ground rules. I mean, this list is basically just me judging by what I like in a song. Vocal performance, structure, musicality, how well it fits in with the theme of the theme or the tone of the movie, I should say, in question. But other than that, it's my own personal opinion. This is what I do. If you disagree with anything I put on, that's fine. Um, like I said, got no problem with people disagreeing with me, even when they're wrong. But enough said, let's get down to it, and I will try to make this short. Because some of these I have a bit to say, but not too much. Some of these I don't have much to say. But let's get down to brass tacks, shall we? And let's start from the top with Dr. No. And I think this is all going to be based around the actual vocal songs in the movie itself. Um, which in Dr. No's case, there is really no opening credits theme. It's just that stupid Mango Tree song. I never understood why it's a leitmotif in Dr. No to have characters just sing the Mango Tree song. I know it's a popular Caribbean um, tune that was around long before Doctor No existed. I think Doctor No popularized it. I don't get it. It doesn't really fit with the film, other than the fact that Bond is in the Caribbean. So why not have a popular Caribbean song? It leaves no indelible impact other than it gets stuck in your head, even if you don't want it to. So I'm just gonna put it at 2. Next up is From Russia with Love, sung by, I don't even know his name. I really honestly couldn't tell you a whole lot about this song. I mean, I've obviously have listened to it, but I honestly can't tell you anything about the lyrics, the musicality of it. Really, because it leaves no indelible impact on me in terms of the vocal performance, the musicality, the lyricism of it. It just sounds like a standard crooner kind of tune from the late 50s, early 60s time period. It doesn't really sound like anything other than another guy who's trying to sound like Frank Sinatra and fails at sounding like Frank Sinatra. That's about it. Does it fit in with the film? I personally wouldn't say so. I mean, it's indicative of the time period, yes, that From Russia with Love was made, but I I couldn't tell you anything about it. So just for its lack of impact, I'd probably have to put it at the bottom. Actually, no, I'll put it at number two. Anything that gets ranked 1 star really has to like piss me off substantially enough to where I can't fucking deal with it. So that's there. Next up, Goldfinger. Yes, the famous Goldfinger theme, the one that started the modern traditional kind of Bond themes that we're known for. Shirley Eaton's Goldfinger. I mean, I guess there's not really much to say about Goldfinger as a song. The lyrics are memorable enough. The music, the backing musical accompaniments have been parodied to death in spy movies consistently. You know, Shirley Eaton's got a great singing voice. She delivers it. I just kind of never found the lyrics to, then the flow of the lyrics to really uh, converge together. And I mean, okay, it's very on the nose for the song. It's literally just talking about Goldfinger, the villain, the man with the Midas touch, and everything. So for as iconic as it is, I can't really listen to it kind of divorced from the movie it's from. And that's kind of a very fine balance when it comes to making music for any sort of um especially a lyrical song for any sort of piece of media, whether it be a television show, a video game, an anime, or a movie, is that if you're going to write a theme song or a song based around a particular leitmotif, as it were, you really have to be careful about crafting lyrics that connect to the source material in a way where it makes sense, but at the same time, divorce it just enough to that if I'm listening to the song on my own, completely divorced from the context of the show, um, then I have no issues with that. Like a great example of this, and as much as I like to pester at weebs for this, I do like the music from this show in particular. But this show's fucking awesome. Kill la Kill is a great fucking example of this. The whole "Before My Body Is Dry" song, I can listen to it just fine. As soon as that I gotta find out who killed my dad lyric comes on, it just instantly pulls me away, because not only is it a really badly delivered and clunky lyric on its own, but unless you have watched Kill la Kill in the first place, it's just listening to the song on its own, you'd be like, "What? What is she talking about? What the fuck?" That's kind of what I'm getting at with it. And I think with Goldfinger, there's just some parts of it where it's a bit too interconnected with Goldfinger the movie to kind of work on its own as a separate piece of music, if you understand what I'm getting at. You probably don't, because I've never been one to easily compartmentalize my thoughts into anything, but hopefully I've explained it enough. So, iconic piece of music, like listening to it, not my favorite Bond theme song, not the strongest either, so I'll put it in a solid 4. And now we strike like thunderball. I can't sing like Tom Jones, and before I recorded this, I just did a lot of impersonations. Just did like a constant impersonation of the Macho Man Randy Savage, and my throat is fucking sore. So, Thunderball. Um, this is easily my favorite song out of Connery's era of Bond films. I mean, what else is there to say about Thunderball? Again, it's one of those songs that's been parodied to death, from the musicality, the lyricism. to Tom Jones' bombastic vocal performance to where he holds that high note. I mean, Spy Hard parodied it. Really fucking funny for its theme song. Probably the only funny part of Spy Hard. Let's be 100% fair to ourselves here. Um, if you haven't watched the opening of Spy Hard, go watch it on YouTube. You're not going to be disappointed. There's really nothing else I could add to Thunderball that other people haven't already said. The lyrics are fit in with the movie well, but you can still listen to it on its own. The musical accompaniment is bombastic. Tom Jones knocks it out of the park with his vocal performance. I honestly think that Tom Jones is kind of the best when he kind of like belts everything out and does all these big, kind of cheesy sort of songs. I've never really liked his standard kind of music, as it were. And when you pair that up with the famous opening title crawl to Thunderball, which is probably one of the most iconic opening title crawls ever. Again, another one that's been parodied to death through and through. How can I put it in any place other than at the top? Yeah, it's a 5-star song for me. You Only Live Twice by Nancy Sinatra. um, I mean, the the big problem is that this honestly doesn't feel like one continuous song to me. It feels like a bunch of cuts that were kind of spliced together in the last minute because the music, the instrumentality, the backing instrumentality of it is kind of nice to listen to occasionally. The lyrics are fine. But the big thing for me that kills it is Nancy Sinatra herself. There's so many times where her voice kind of falters and wavers throughout it, and it doesn't create a consistent tone. Or if there is a consistent tone there, then her constant, pitch and vocal changes throughout kind of ruin it. In all honesty, I think I heard a rumor that she was completely nervous, and yeah, it kind of sounds like that. Like I said, her vocal performance sounds like all these other takes are just kind of threaded together with the flimsiest of through lines, and I just don't think it works that well. So I'd probably have to put it at number 2 just for that. And where is On Her Majesty's Secret Service? There it is. Which actually isn't On Her Majesty's Secret Service. It's We Have All the Time in the World by Louis Armstrong. Um, this is tough for me, man. um, the thing about, again, I think it does suffer a problem of being a bit too interconnected with On Her Majesty's Secret Service as far as the lyricism and the tone is going for, because this is obviously the song that plays when Bond and Tracy are falling in love and having their little lovey-dovey thing, which I'll be 100% honest, I never really cared for that because it's like because a 3-minute montage doesn't really give us the development necessary to genuinely believe that the chemistry is there in a way. Never really cared for that. So the lyricism is kind of very much stuck in that sort of thing. The backing instrumentality is fine. I mean, I don't really remember it. If you just took the lyrics out, I couldn't, figure it out. But the big thing that kind of kills it for me, I hate to say it, is the great Satchmo himself. I'm sorry. Like, I'm not saying that Louis Armstrong was a bad singer. I'm not saying that he couldn't write a beautiful song. I mean, he gave us What a Wonderful World, for God's sakes. It's probably one of the best feel good, most beautiful songs that there is. But I just don't see but for him to give like this very romantic sort of vibe in terms of a song with his vocals on it. I don't know. I can't buy it 100%. Not, again, I don't want to disparage him as like an objectively bad singer. He was a good singer. He had a very distinctive voice, but that distinctive voice kind of kills it for me. Like it's hard for me to think of romance when you've got have all the time. I just keep expecting to hear I see trees. Roses too. Yeah, my voice is really fucked up. I can do a much better Louis Armstrong than that, but you kind of get my point. There's just such this massive disconnect between what the song is trying to convey and what actually is being conveyed, thanks to all these disparate elements that don't really work together, in my opinion. And no, it being in No Time to Die didn't make it better for me. It just kind of felt like an insult. So I'd probably put it at number 3. It's kind of in the middle for me. It's not the worst song that there is, but at the same time, there's a bit too many problems that I can't really place it any higher. And next up, and finally, we close out Connery's era with Diamonds Are Forever, done once again by Shirley Bassey. That's it. I don't know who I said for Goldfinger, but it's Shirley Bassey, yes. As well. Honestly, controversial opinion here. I like the Diamonds Are Forever song better than I do Goldfinger, actually, as far as Shirley Bassey's Bond themes are concerned. I find the backing instrumentality it has a much more dulcet kind of feel to it. That's gives a little bit more easy listening. I find the lyrics flow better and are feel less tied down by what the actual film is supposed to be. And I actually think that that her vocal performance is a bit improved over her performance in Goldfinger. Goldfinger is all about Best and sorry, and um try to be epic. Whereas Diamonds Are Forever isn't really doing that. And I actually think that by going with a more subtler kind of um tone to it, that it actually plays to her strengths as a singer better. And like I said, the lyrics and the music are better as well. So yeah, controversial opinion, I know, but it wouldn't be one of my tier list videos if I didn't have one. Next, we get into Roger Moore's era with Live and Let Die. And I mean, really, what can I say about Live and Let Die that hasn't been said? This is a Bond's. This song has managed to escape from Bond to become completely its own thing. Like, there are people, myself included, who have listened to Live and Let Die and did not realize it was the main theme to a Bond theme song. That is how ubiquitous it has become in pop culture. You're talking about a song that is so popular that Guns N' Roses covered it in like the late 80s, early 90s, and managed to create a cover that was just as good as the original was. This song has transcended popular culture. Really, it should be number 5. It's not for me though. Personally, I've always never really felt the song work structurally to me. The soft opening going to the more bombastic kind of the fact that the chorus is very soft and then the verses are all very loud and bombastic. I don't know. It just seems a bit too jarring for me. Never really been the biggest fan of Paul McCartney as a vocalist at all. This should either come as no surprise to you or come as a huge shock to you, but I fucking hate the Beatles. And a lot of that came down to both John Lennon and Paul McCartney as singers. Um, and other things, but mostly the vocal performances, and that kind of carries it here. The instrumentality, I gotta be in a mood to listen to the instrumentality of "Live and Let Die" because if I'm in a particular mood, it actually sounds really cool and kind of nice and bombastic in that funky, jazzy kind of early '70s way. And if I'm not in the mood for it, it sounds really fucking annoying with the violin things and the use of synthesizers, the just a couple of really disparate elements that don't coagulate together. So I respect the impact it has on pop culture. I respect the fact that it's transcended its source material and became a fixture of it. Me personally, though, I really got to be in the fucking mood for it, though. So it's at number three. I know. I prefer the Guns N' Roses version myself, though. Sue me. um, Next up is Man with the Golden Gun. I don't get this one at all. I don't get this one at all. Not even from an ironic standpoint. The the fucking woman who voices it, Lulu, she didn't really have that good of a voice in my opinion. The instrumentality is kind of it plays too much in that cheesy '70s kind of early disco vibes to it, and I just never cared for that. The lyrics are dumb as hell, in my opinion. The structure doesn't really flow together. There are moments where I look at the lyrical structure and I'm like, huh? It it's all disparate, and annoying, and disconnected. So yeah, to anyone who likes that song, I'm sorry, but get better taste, man. That's all I have to say. Next up is "Nobody Does It Better" from "The Spy Who Loved Me," done by Carly Simon. Again, I kind of have to be in the mood to listen to this. I think it works well with "The Spy Who Loved Me" as a movie, and I think it works well on its own. Carly Simon is a great singer. No need to really go into it. The instrumentality builds up very gradually. The song progression is smooth, but again, it's just one of those songs where you kind of have to be in a particular mood to listen to it for me. But unlike other particular mood songs, this one is strong enough from a pure technical perspective that I can at least put it as a 4-star song. Not my favorite of the Roger Moore era Bond songs, but which is disappointing coming from what is easily his best film. But it's still an awesome song. The fact that it would spawn numerous imitators that tried and failed miserably to capture its success, notwithstanding, but we will get to them when we get to them. Um, Next up is Moonraker, the final Shirley Bassey song Bond theme. Um, the instrumentality is all right. She still kills it, but the lyrics are just really fucking stupid, man. They just don't fit. They don't fit either with the actual movie itself because they're so clunky that it just comes off as stupid. I mean, it's fucking Moonraker. It's gonna come off stupid regardless. But even then, you can't really divorce it from the movie itself and kind of listen to it on its own because then the clunkiness and the lyricism just becomes that much more pronounced, in my opinion. Um, Yeah. The only reason it's not a number one is it doesn't actively annoy me or piss me off. But yeah, not a great song. Next up is "For Your Eyes Only." Um, done by Sheena Easton, I want to say. Someone can easily correct me. Um, yeah, kind of have to be in the mood for this. I don't really think it fits well with The Spy Who Loved Me. Not The Spy Who Loved Me. For Your Eyes Only as a movie. just from a plot structure or the themes of Your Eyes Only or the tone. Um, Her vocal performance for me, again, it depends on what kind of mood I'm in. Sometimes I could think, wow, that's actually really nice and haunting and beautiful. Then there are other times where like she's trying way too fucking hard and it's not sounding great. The musicality, the instrumentality of it is nice. The lyrics work effectively enough. It's a nice, mellow kind of song. Um, I know there are some people who really, really like this song, and I can easily understand why. Especially with the pre-title opening sequence where you actually see her perform the song during the pre-title opening sequence, which is actually pretty cool. I actually do like that idea, but I'd place it in the middle for me. Nothing again, nothing too offensive, but yeah. And then all-time high by Octopussy. Never been a big fan of this one either. I forget who sings it, but I don't like her voice. The lyrics don't do anything for me. The music's grating. Yeah, I'm just not a fan of this one at all. Sorry to say. And then finally, we come to the last one. With a view to a kill. Oh, View to a Kill. I, as I've probably alluded to in my Bond villains list, I am a sucker for fucking 80s cheese in any form, and that does include song form in terms of synthesizers and drum machines and all this other stuff. Um, Even though Duran Duran are trapped in what made the 80s, I still think that their music, especially from a lyricism point of view, has managed to transcend them enough to where you can kind of listen to them and know that it's from the 80s, but you don't have to be a big, like a hardcore 80s person to really get into it. If that makes any sense. But I mean, the View to a Kill is again, it does have its successes. It's the only Bond song to ever hit number one on Billboard's Top 100 for 100. Not a lot of people know that actually. Huge mega hit, and I can easily see why. I mean, the music is just pure synthesized drum machine 80s backing music. Some of the lyrics are a bit hit and miss there. I'm a huge fan of Duran Duran. Especially with regards to oh, what's his name, Simon LeBont, I want to say, who actually is a very, very technically good singer, but everything just comes together. This song, the View to a Kill, once you hear it once, it gets stuck in your fucking head. Like every time I listen to a View to a Kill, it's stuck in there for at least a week, and I can't help but enjoy it, not just because it's it hits all my love of 80s guilty pleasure-ness, if that's even a word, but just because it's honestly a damn good song to listen to in its own right. I mean, this is a song that even people who hate View to a Kill are like, actually, no, the title theme is actually really rock solid. So, yeah, it's 5 stars. And then we get into Timothy Dalton's sadly brief era. Yes. First up is The Living Daylights, done by Aha. Yes, the Take On Me guys. Um, I'll admit this song took a while to grow on me because when I originally heard it, it was just kind of like, oh, they're trying to do the View to a Kill thing, having an 80s synth heavy British band that was really popular at the time record this, even though, Aha's a one-hit wonder over here. I'm sure in Mario, England, those guys are more popular. But I actually started to listen to it more and more, and it actually really did kind of grow on me to the point where I'm like, okay, this is actually pretty cool. Like, if you listen to the lyrics, they're actually surprisingly dark, and they not only fit in with the tone of the movie really well, but even on their own, it's just like, wow, this is actually more dramatic than you think. The instrumentality is really, really solid. The vocal performances, again, from the from the guys who did Take on Me, of all things, is actually really solid. Sells kind of the desperation of what the lyrics are going for. It's actually a really underrated song, in my opinion. I mean, if you haven't listened to it in a while, give it a shot, in all honesty. So yeah, it's 5 stars for me. And then we come to License to Kill, my second favorite Bond film that gets probably one of my least favorite songs ever. Um, the music itself, I kind of like the music itself. It works. I just don't know if it really feels appropriate for License to Kill as a movie. I don't really think the lyrics are the strongest. They don't really connect with License to Kill as a movie that well. And even on their own, there are some bits and pieces where I'm like, okay, this doesn't really make sense. And no disrespect to Gladys Knight at all. I don't really think she fits well with what the song is trying to convey or the tone the song is trying to go for. Not saying she's a bad singer, far from it. I just don't think she was the right choice to sing it. Even though she does a fantastic job with it. And it doesn't help that at nearly 5 minutes long, it is by far the longest song in the Bond category. Actually, no, I don't know if it is the longest song in any of the Bond films. Maybe one of the Craig era ones is longer. It wouldn't surprise me if that was the case. But yeah, I'm just not a big fan of this. But like I said, it doesn't actively piss me off. So it at least goes in number two. Let's go to Brosnan's era now with and got this in our sights with a golden eye. Again, this song really did kind of have to take a little bit to for me to really appreciate. The instrumentality is really nice and cool. Kind of got a very dramatic, funky vibe to it. Some of the lyrics are a little bit clunky, I admit. Sometimes it leans a bit too heavily into um uh, being too tied into the film while not really letting it stand on its own from just a standalone song perspective. But nothing too majorly bad. Again, no disrespect to Tina Turner at all. Um, I honestly didn't think I would like it, but she actually manages to pull the song off really well. I think her vocals are actually appropriate for the song in question. Um, does a very good job. I mean, okay, of course she was going to do a good job. Tina Turner, for God's sake, she was. Yeah, she was a fucking awesome singer. But yeah, again, took me a while to really like, but I actually think it's probably one of the stronger Brosnan era Bond songs. So yeah, it goes into number four. There we go. So have some respect, Mister Raggedy Man. Yes, I had to do a Beyond Thunderdome reference to me. Uh, Next up is Tomorrow Never Dies. Um, Not a big fan of this one at all. Not at all. And yes, I will bring up the fact that Katie Lang's Surrender is the superior song. I will be one of those assholes. Sue me. The I guess another big issue that I've noticed with other Bond songs is that it seems like they're trying to figure out who they have this balance, this balancing act between trying to figure out the most appropriate person who can pull the song off with justice while also being a bit too contemporaneous with regards to when the songs are released. And I feel like when they go for the former, it actually turns out really well and you don't even notice it. But when they go for the latter, sometimes it's not too bad, but other times it's like really noticeable that they don't belong. Um, and that's kind of really the case with Tomorrow Never Dies, the theme song. Some of the musicality is fine. Uh, the lyrics, are very hit and miss, but the big thing that kills it for me is just Sheryl Crow's performance. She does not do that song justice at all. And it's very obvious to me that she was a case of, well, who's popular at the time that we can get to sing this? And there are a lot, and I get it. Just because it doesn't seem very Bond-esque, it doesn't mean that a disparate artist or someone who doesn't seem like the first choice for a Bond song can't perform a good Bond song. Again, I go to "The Living Daylights" by a-ha or Duran Duran for example of that. But to me, Sheryl Crow does not have what it takes to pull it off. There are a couple singers I could think of who can do a James Bond song really well. Miss Every Day is a Winding Road is not one of those people. And her presence really does kill it. And again, it wouldn't be so bad if we didn't have Katie Lang's Surrender, which is a much better song. Yep. Next up is The World Is Not Enough by Garbage. I really like this song. In my opinion, this is easily the highlight of Brosnan's era as Bond. Musicality is awesome. I love the idea of. I think the lyrics are great, especially with the idea of having the song be sung from Elektra's perspective instead of Bond's perspective. Really adds some dimensionality to it. Shirley Manson knocks it out of the park, as always. And hey, this song got me to discover Garbage. And and the fact that this song led to Stupid Girl, probably one of my favorite songs and a song that continues to be apropos to this day, is nothing short of awesome. Yeah, 5 stars there. And then Madonna's Die Another Day. Sigmund Freud analyzed this indeed. Um, I'll be honest, it is kind of a guilty pleasure song for me. If I'm in the right mood for it, I can listen to it just fine and not be pissed off by it at all and kind of revel in just how badly produced it is from the awful early 2000s electronica beat that doesn't really do it any favors, the stupid fucking lyrics that make no goddamn sense at all, and Madonna's vocal performance that really does prove that her American Life album really should have been the end of her career. Um, and it basically just was at that point. So in some cases, yes, I can kind of enjoy it as a stupid guilty pleasure song, but objectively speaking, it's a really rotten fucking song. It really is an awful, awful song to listen to. It fails on almost every front. So yeah, it's gonna have to be in the bottom. And then we finally get into Daniel Craig's era. Uh, this is gonna be pretty simple. First off, Casino Royale. You Know My Name by the late great Chris Cornell. Easily my absolute favorite Bond song. I mean, the instrumentality is great. The lyrics are fucking awesome. Cornell, as always, nailed it with regards to his vocal performance. It's probably the James Bond song I've listened to more than any other James Bond song. It's a modern classic in my opinion. It's a great song and a great way to really kick off the Bond reboot tenure. And the fact that it's from my absolute favorite Bond film of all time, yeah, fantastic. I cannot say the same for Another Way to Die, though. Oh, God. Awful instrumentality, stupid inane lyrics that have nothing to do with the film in question and don't really work by themselves. Jack White and Alicia Keys could not be diametrically opposite from each other, and it's painfully obvious that their voices do not mesh well under any circumstances, especially not in the circumstances of that song. And the fact that there were much, much better songs that got cut out for this is inexcusable. I have no problem with the idea of a duet for a Bond theme song. This is not how you fucking do it, though, and I really do wish they would re-examine this idea and go back to it. Next up, Skyfall. Again, kind of took me a little bit to really like. I love the instrumentality of it. I love the lyrics of it. Adele was always going to be the biggest factor because, again, controversial opinion. I was never one to care for Adele's voice, especially when she got into the overwrought belting that she liked to do at the popularity of at her early popularity that she still continued on. It's like nails on a fucking chalkboard whenever she tries to go so profound and bombastic with her vocals. And I was listening to it, I was really friggin' scared that was going to be the case, but she never goes overwrought or overboard with it. In fact, her performance actually makes me like, wow, okay, this is the person that people are fawning over. Does it excuse all the other songs from hers that I had to endure and when I was in high school? No, no, it doesn't. But at the same time, I can at least say Adele has one song that I like and that I can listen to, and that doesn't make me want to cut off my ears with a rusty bread knife. So, yeah. Oh, Spectre, Writings on the Wall. Um, I honestly thought that Writings on the Wall would be completely irredeemable. Here's the thing, though. Trying to listen to it being the key word. I like some of the instrumentality to it. I like the tone that it goes for. I do think it kind of fits in with Spectre as a film, and it can kind of work. And I do think that some of the lyrics themselves are actually really, really kind of interesting and really sell what they're trying to what the filmmakers were trying to go for. The problem is Sam Smith, who I've never ever liked. Dude's got one song, maybe two songs that I can tolerate. Everything else I've heard from Sam Smith has been nothing short of fucking ear poison. I hate Sam Smith's style of singing, especially when he tries to go into that really overwrought falsetto voice that is meant to sound really vulnerable and pained, but it sounds like a cat getting skinned alive by a fucking rusty razor blade. You know, this his performance just fucking kills it for me. It really does. Cause it's just insufferable to listen to when he like goes from being very soft and very whiny, and then he, goes way too high out of what his voice can actually do, and the annoying falsettos that, yeah, just if there was a different singer involved, if there was a different fucking singer involved who could actually take the intricacies that are in the lyrics and help. Some of the lyrics do need a second draft before they get good. But if there was just a different fucking singer, someone who didn't constantly feel the need to sing like to sing in an annoying falsetto voice that sounds like you're getting dipped in boiling hot oil, then the song would be fine. But Sam Smith, god damn, Sam Smith's performance just no, really puts it at the bottom. And No Time to Die. Again, the only this is the probably the only song I can't even bother to finish. Um, Instrumentality's fine. Some of the lyrics work. But I've never really been a big fan of burnt meat fried mash at all. Beat Me Irish just does not appeal to me at all. I've never liked her stupid fucking songs. I listened to Bad Guy once, and once was enough for me. I would rather pull out my fingernails with with a set of garden shears than fucking have to listen to Bad Guy ever again. And she always seemed like the kind of cringy, overwrought, really pretentious, dark girl kind of songs. Like, you know, if Beetroot if Beetroot Eyelash was popular back in 2013, 2012, that she would be the fucking object of affection for all of those really cringy, really overly dramatic Tumblr blogs that think that liking Nightmare Before Christmas and going Hot Topic is somehow constitutes having an actual personality. You know what I'm talking about? And I've just never ever cared for it. She sounds like a relic from a time period that I'm glad no longer exists, but the fact that we're trying to bring it back and give it admiration is just bad. And again, her presence completely kills this fucking song. There's a right way and a wrong way to do melancholic singing, but I never got the sense that she was doing it with like tragedy or anything. She just sounds bored. She sounds like she's waiting in a fucking dentist's office for a root canal or something. Again, the music, and again, I think it's just so pretentious and overwrought, much like No Time to Die, the movie itself. So I guess it's rather apropos, I would say. But yeah, just between the being more coming off as more profound than it does, and fucking just I have no words at this point. Yeah. So there we go. Kind of a quick video, but that is the list of everything that I've done. Thank you guys so much for watching this video and suffering it through me and suffering with me and suffering through me, as it were. But until next time, as far as the future goes, who knows? I've actually got a whole backload of Three Idiots videos I should probably upload at some point and really kind of expand everything. There's so much stuff that me and my friends have done, all the stupid shit we've subjected ourselves to in games. But yeah, that might be the future. Or unless I can put the start live stream starts Let's Play in the Cagliostro Protocol. Still kind of running that through my head. At least at the time of recording. But until next time, guys, take care, and I will see you all in the next video. Stay safe, everyone, and have a pleasant rest of your day. Bye. Yeah, my voice is so fucked up. I can't even do the goofy bye anymore.